So this is our initial sketch of our visitor journey map. And we have later on finalized them in Figma. And also like kind of rephrased them by column. So like each column will show a face. We thought that would be more clear to introduce our project.
Before we did the journey map, we also thought about how we want the user to experience this. So like we had a few ideas, including like, you know, they are being told information like through text or audio or screens or so. But then we also had another idea where the visitor would kind of be like in the future. And so eventually we went with that.
Yeah, and then I think the visitor journey map really helped us to figure out where's like the peak of our video is at, and then figuring out like how do we lead the viewers in, and then how do we exit the whole experience. Yeah. Okay.
And then as we were developing this, we had multiple versions of how the interactions were. So here is a bit of like experimenting with how we can have like walls change and how the moon arc is displayed. So this would be like a 360 rotation of the moon arc, so the person doesn't have to move. But eventually, we went with this one where it goes into exploded view and they can move around themselves. And then yeah, we also played around with lighting and making this robot more dynamic.
And then we actually end up using the background idea where the spaceship fades in as soon the viewer walks in to that space. Yeah. So as soon as we decided to have audio for our robot, we have developed kind of like a Bezier script for what we want the helper robot to say. And then we have like few versions because initially it's too long and then it's not really helping by singing a lot. So we have cut things down and then mainly focusing on the core and like a short intro to the mission of the moon arc.
Mm-hmm. And then we discovered as we were putting the robot into the space that like it would be on the side or it would be visually distracting, or we weren't sure where to put it. So we wanted to be out of screen, but we also wanted the user to know like where the sound was coming from. So in the beginning, we had it show up in the center, and then like here in the center, and then later it would move out to the side after they see that this is where the noise is coming from.
Yeah. And then for our we have our interactions separate into different files in Bezier. The way how we figure out the like dimension and placement for our boxes, like we mainly just like we had Felicia put on the headset and then I was on Bezier and then like shift them little by little to figure out the exact measurement.
Yeah, because the view updates in real time. So it'd be like, oh, it has to go slightly left or slightly right. And so we'd just keep doing trial and error until it lined up. And then we based all of our other files on the one file that worked.
Yeah.
When we first started out, we got a little distracted and went too far into like the VR world. And then we had to tone back our ideas from VR and bring it back into like pass-through mixed reality. Yeah. So instead of having like the walls completely covered by the spaceship interior, we just had it focused on one wall and then have it blink around the window. So that way you can still see the actual space, and that way it's not confusing like where they should look. Like all the attention is just in one spot. So to achieve the moon enlarging, instead of trying to make the gesture in Bezier work, we timed it so that at a certain time the moon would enlarge itself. And so we just do the motion, and then in the video it would look like it's demonstrating this gesture.
Yeah.
And then we also had the gaze effect, and that was done through After Effects.
And that's basically our process